4 races to go.
Just sensational stuff.
It's never over until it's over at Lime Rock Park. In sports, whenever the playing field gets smaller, the intensity of the game ranges up. Fans know it, and they love it. For the competitors in the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, there is no playing field, no racetrack that they compete on smaller than this one. Connecticut's Lime Rock Park is 1.5 miles of challenging, narrow, unforgiving blacktop. And while it may be small, it is notorious for exhilarating racing. Welcome to the Bull Ring and Lime Rock. Are you ready?
Yes.
Welcome in, everyone, to NBC Sports coverage of the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, the MCP Euro Northeast Grand Prix presented by Acura. Lime Rock Park, Lakeville, Connecticut, and the crowd is absolutely on hand, waiting for a great race today. I'm Brian Till, along with Calvin Fish. We'll have all the stories for you from up top, right along with us. And what a day for racing it is. Look at those blue skies. The WeatherTech weather says great day for racing. Mid-70s, a little bit of a breeze. Absolutely no chance for rain today. Time to get it done at Lime Rock. All kinds of storylines coming into the weekend. We'll get you caught up with GTD Pro, where in the championship, 4 teams, 4 manufacturers remain. The number 4 team leads it by 96 points. They've got 2 wins on the season, does the Baxter Sullivan squad, but so does WeatherTech Racing, only 96 points back. Corvette Racing took their maiden win last time out, and the Fat Porsche, defending champions, they're in it. What about GTD? Paul Miller Racing, 3 wins on the season. That's more than they've ever had. And we still have 5 races to go, including today's race. And while GTP, the monster prototypes of the WeatherTech Championship, are not here this weekend, there is news. Lamborghini, they debuted their GTP contender that will show up in 2024, the Raging Bull, coming to the WeatherTech Championship. We've got great stories throughout the day. A lot of them will come right down there on pit lane. We'll start first with Hannah Newhouse.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. And of course, in GTD Pro, it was the 23 Aston Martin Heart of Racing team with Ross Gunn, who set an absolutely blistering lap in his qualifying effort, leading the field to green in GTD Pro. But man, it has been a Herculean effort for this team, because 2 weeks ago at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, that team suffering a wreck, which essentially wrecked their primary car. So that team has been hard at work the past 2 weeks, getting a brand new Aston Martin prepared. And usually, of course, when you come to these races, you've got these new car gremlins. But fortunately for that team, no new car gremlins. It's been fast since they came off of the truck, and they are ready to go. And believe it or not, they are still searching for their first win here of the 2023 season. They were runner-up, though, in this race last year, Lime Rock Park, so the odds are definitely in their favor, Dylan.
And Hannah, in GTD, also 2 cars looking for their first win of the year. They happen to share the front row. The 32 Korthoff Motorsports Mercedes, piloted by Mike Skeen, yesterday qualified on the pole for the first time in over a year, and at a track where track position is ultra important. That track position that they earned yesterday may be a key to them having a good day today. The 70 McLaren from Inception Motorsports qualified next to them in the 2nd position. They're going with a different game plan today than many other teams. They're going to start their race with their more experienced driver in Frederick Schandorf to try and keep the track position early on when the race is aggressive. Both these cars, the 70 and the pole sitting 32, been knocking on the door of their first win for a season and a half. They're in position now for maybe their best shot at victory lane, Brian.
I keep hearing track position. It is going to be key here at Lime Rock. WeatherTech Sports Car Series action coming at you. Don't miss a lap.
WeatherTech is known for providing the ultimate protection for your vehicle with laser-measured floor liners and cargo trunk liner, along with seat protectors and seat back protectors. And now the WeatherTech Cup Foam, with removable cups, fits virtually any size cup holder and adjusts to fit virtually any size phone. Even allows easy access while charging. Whatever you drive, whatever phone you have, Cup Foam is the perfect fit. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com.
Introducing the all-new 2024 Chevy Trax. Helps you stay connected, safe, and charged. The all-new Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495. The possibilities are endless.
It's orientation day. Welcome to the team.
Who wants to race?
I like this team. Be part of something greater. Toyota, let's go places.
America, 11 a.m. WeatherTech Sportscar Championship.
Looking down on Lime Rock Park, great WeatherTech video from up top today, the MCP Euro Northeast Grand Prix, IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. We are getting ready to go. Take a look at how they'll line up there on the left of your screen. You'll see the Acura starting grid. Give you an idea how the different classes will line up. Calvin, different event here today, GT cars only. Very unique racetrack.
It really is, and right in the heart of this championship season, Brian, round 7 of 11, and when you look at the scene that the number 14 team have had from Vassar Sullivan, Hawksworth and Barnacle hold down a 96-point lead, but you can see today, just with the 5 cars in this field, there could be a 90-point swing, so any bump in the road can turn things upside down, and that's exactly what happened a couple of weeks ago at CTMP. On a restart, the number 9 got feisty down on the inside of Barnacle, elbows right, Pingley sent Barnacle for a ride, and with that, the 14 car had to go back to the pit lane and ultimately back to the paddock. The 4th place finish, their championship lead was cut.
Unique event, GT cars only. That means you don't have to deal with prototypes, but unique racetrack, Calvin, the shortest that these teams and drivers will compete on all season long.
Yeah, predominantly right-hand turns, so you really got to manage those left side Michelins here today. Track position is obviously key, as one of the WeatherTech keys to victory, because it's very difficult to pass here. So how do you get track position? It seems obvious, but you've also got to make sure that you can look at things like the undercut in terms of your strategy here today. The undercut means you pit a lap or 2 earlier than your competition. Get those fresh Michelin tires on, use the extra grip for lap time, and potentially leapfrog around some of the competition. The problem with that is, Brian, is that it's so condensed here. The density here with 20 cars on this 1.5 mile circuit, you've got to find some clean air to work with that pace. Otherwise, you're stymied and you have no advantage.
But yeah, the lap time's well underneath a minute. And so you think about the length of a pit stop, you don't want to come right back out in traffic. How do you manage left side tire?
Well, it's difficult, but I think what you're going to see today is a lot of control. You get that track position, make sure you got the car positioned into the brake zone so you can't be passed, but then try not to overdrive the cars. It's all about the balance in the race car. If you've got some understeer, ease up on that left front tire. If you've got a little bit of traction issue coming off, try not to really burn down that left rear as you're coming off the corners. You work with your TC, all of the electronic aids that you have, try and manage the car the best it can be. You're looking at potentially an 85 lap run here with these GTD machines, close to 75 to 80 minutes potentially. That's an awful long run here on these tires today.
Lights out on the Acura pace car, the field up front. Talk about Aston Martin, that Heart of Racing squad. Amazing to me, they had no victories. They don't even have a podium finish this year, Calvin.
It's crazy, but they've got pace. They had big pace at CTMP. We saw the incident that they had there. What a bounce back, brand new chassis. And Ross Gunn put that car on the pole. He won it 2 years ago with Roman DeAngelis in GTD.
Aston Martin on pole, outside the front row, the 14, that bright yellow and black Lexus from Vassar Sullivan Racing, the championship leader. You've got to protect your championship. We talked about that as well. And you've got a lot of GT cars behind you breathing down your neck. Time to go at Lime Rock Park. Green flag waves. We are racing.
Awesome start there by our pole sitter. Hawksworth was jumped a little bit there. Now it's dicey there down into turn one.
Corvette looking to the inside. Antonio Garcia, great run in qualifying. They didn't think they had the pace at CTMP, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. They ended up with the victory and already side by side.
Shandov to the inside. Look at they go into the right hander there. He's trying to get inside our pole sitter. Has to give it up a little bit. Side by side now with our pole sitter in GTD trying to make a move on P-lane. This is going to get sketchy as they get into the brake zone for the uphill.
And this is difficult. Remember, two different classes now. They hit. Oh, McLaren side by side makes contact with the Mercedes. This is the GTD class. The Porsche in front is GTD Pro. And I think for
a touch there. Goldberg gets into the side of DeAngelis there as they go through West Bend.
This is going to be a physical race all day long. 2 hours and 40 minutes, 50-second lap times. And what I was saying, two different classes right now. You got to know who you're racing with. But for Mike Skeen, the pole sitter in GTD, he needed to get past the Porsche in front of him. You can see a look right now because he knew the 70 McLaren was right there.
Yeah, it's really difficult there as you come down the pole there in the straightaway into that brake zone. He was on the outside. He had to let Pele go. That opened up the door for Shandov. Tucked it to the inside. There was contact. Then he was scrambled the grip coming off.
All of these cars, all 20 of them, the same spec, the same class. The only thing that differentiates them is the GT class is a Pro-Am driver lineup. So you look through the different classes, you'll see a Lexus in GTD Pro, you'll see one in GTD, same with Aston Martin. So it's the driver lineup that differentiates it. How can you tell from the outside then? Green mirrors, green number plates, green end plates on the rear wing on GTD. Red highlights on all of the GTD Pro cars.
Like the highlights in your hair, Brian.
No, those are not red or green.
So three BMWs running their line of stern sandwich in the middle as our championship leader, Anderson Snow. Did not have a great qualifying run here yesterday, coming off a brilliant victory at CTMP, as you mentioned, Brian. 3 for the season, that's the most they've ever seen. This run here. What a run to the outside by Madison Snow. That's on board here with Frankie Montecalvo. He's out on the pole here last year, and that also gives Bill Orland a run in the Macintosh livery BMW as well.
Look at the qualifying for the #1, your championship leader in GTD. Not the qualifying that they wanted. So Madison Snow really aggressive here at the start, trying to move forward.
Well, that's what they seem to do. They don't always have the fastest car, but they seem to be making the right decisions on the racetrack and off. Great strategy this year. And once again, he's up on the wheel on the attack on Patrick Gallagher. Now, the real key is we talked about managing these tires. So when you're in heat of a battle right now, it's all about thinking about the long game a little bit.
Well, that's just it. How do you tell a race car driver to be patient? Don't burn the car down. He wants by the car in front of him, but you don't want to use up too much of that Michelin tire to get there.
Things settling down. We see the WeatherTech Racing Mercedes been dropped down in position. So Pele has gotten around Gunnar here. We focus back on GTD once again. Here's our GTD Pro leader gun through West Bend at the top of the hill, and we plummet down that hill into the downhill. Very fast right-hander on this front straightaway at San Posey straightaway here at Lime Rock Park.
We're looking at Jules Gouin in the 79, the WeatherTech Mercedes. Are we already seeing strategy? Is he already saying, all right, I'm sitting 5th right now. Let's run a different strategy. Let's conserve some fuel. Let's conserve some tire and see if we can leapfrog past people on pit stop.
I think certainly. I mean, if you get a yellow and then suddenly you compress that field once again, if your tire's a little bit fresh, you may have an opportunity to do something with it. See Hawkswood there sitting in P2. Garcia. He's only won here once. Corvette Racing had won here 6 times, but it was typically the #4 car, the sister car, that had the successful runs here in the Northeast.
And you guys talked about, of course, the strategy here with the 79 car, and you hit on it, Brian. They don't feel like they have the car overall to attack on the racetrack. They feel like they're going to make their biggest moves on pit road and jumping cars in a pit strategy. So right now, that 79 team and that whole Mercedes camp simply said, we're just going to survive. Don't expect us to make anything aggressive, no big moves on the racetrack, but to simply wait to be aggressive on pit road.
What's a pit stop going to cost time-wise, Calvin? It'll cost you a lot around here, will it not? You're not close to the lead.
Yeah, just coming down pit lane at 60 kilometers an hour compared to staying out on the racetrack. Costs you about 18 to 20. Oh, look at this! Gallagher, our championship leader, Madison Snow. The BMW camps are not playing well together here today. Intense stuff here. See a little bit of damage on the right front bumper of Madison Snow aboard the #1 Paul Miller Racing Machine. Their local racetrack, they won here last year, they won in 2018, on their way to a championship.
You got to keep the car together in order to win. Madison Snow's been aggressive, trying to get aggressive on Patrick Gallagher right there. Gallagher having nothing to do. He's got a BMW behind him, one in front of him, and they're both from Turner Motorsports.
Take a look and see how this develops here. Down into Big Bend. Madison Snow gets to the flank of Gallagher and he just kind of washes out wide. You'll see that happen a lot today on the exit of Big Bend here. Let's take another look at it. You're using all of the road typically. Snow wasn't completely alongside him there, so Madison, big commitment, and he's got to be careful. He's got to be thinking not only about the big picture of the race today, but also the championship season, that healthy 212-point lead that they had coming into this race weekend.
Gallagher in that Turner BMW DL 96 car, making it his first full season effort in the IMSA WeatherTech Challenge Series here in the GTD competition. And I felt like this weekend he was really kind of starting to understand these GT3 cars and understand how to push them and the little things that make the difference. I think you may have seen that there. Sometimes you have to understand the race car and understand the limits and how aggressive you can be early on in the race. And Pat was certainly doing that there, trying to hold off his BMW teammate in the one car.
Things heating up at Lime Rock Park, even though it's just in the mid-70s. It's IMSA WeatherTech sports car competition, FCP Northeast Round 3. Good stuff from Lime Rock Park. Stick around, don't miss any of it.
The Porsche 963. Technically, it was born in Germany, but it was made in France, 1970. Shaped in the corkscrew of Laguna Seca. Forged in the flames of green hell. Galvanized in the never-ending laps of flight. Raised in the bus stop at Daytona. Made in the 23rd hour of the 24 hours of Le Mans. Defined in the epic comebacks and christened in the mythical moments. It was raised in the rain. Pushed in the night, seasoned in failure, and humbled in success. So yeah, like every Porsche race car, the 963 was born in Germany. But where you're born is only the start.
Special victims unit, right?
Look deep into my eyes. You're no rest.
Is this absolutely necessary?
Yeah, it is. We find that arresting, handcuffing rapists is an efficient way to do business.
First time I met Chris McCall was my mother had introduced me to him because she had used him in a case before. He's a good attorney, he's a good friend, and he's one that you can count on.
That's the biggest compliment that you can get as an attorney, I think, and it makes me proud of what I do. When you get a chance to represent people like Herbert and his family, you know, there's no better feeling.
Ready to switch? Break up with wipes. Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water. Micelles cleanse like a magnet, without harsh red. Tested to remove waterproof mascara better than the leading wipes. 9 out of 10 wipe users would recommend Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water by Garnier, naturally.
Crack the science of stolen hair. Fructis. It's keratin, protein, or biotin in reloaded systems. Up to 72 hours stress control, 48 hours definition, or 72 hours thicker looking hair. Fructis by
Back
Garnier,
away from the
naturally.
remote.
IMSA Racing on NBC Sports is brought to you by Acura. Precision crafted performance. By Michelin, track to street, perform on all roads with legendary Michelin Pilot tires. And by Lexus, experience amazing. Absolutely gorgeous area of Connecticut, and I remember coming to Lime Rock Park for the first time in 1986, and it hasn't changed much since then, and the way the cars race it hasn't changed much either.
No, it's a bull ring. It's very unique. It keeps you busy all day long. It's a lot smoother than when I ran here.
There's that.
In the late 80s as well, Brian, so certainly eases the pain a little bit physically when you're fighting the car here. But here we see Ross Gunn from the pole position. What a turnaround for that team. Rolled out a new chassis here in practice yesterday morning. dialed on the knobs, and it came to life in the afternoon qualifying session. He's showing great pace here in the early stages as well.
I almost feel like this racetrack is an oval, but in the opposite direction from what we're used to here in the United States. Only the one left-hand corner. The car has to work through right-hand corners, and if it doesn't work here, you just can't be fast. And from a driver's perspective, it makes you incredibly frustrated.
It does, you know, and that's I think we're feeling that a little bit right now from Madison Snow, or seeing it, should I say, and feeling his frustration because he's trying to figure out a solution to this puzzle with his other BMW in front of him, Patrick Gallagher. Gallagher is gradually finding his feet here in this GTP machinery. Sharing this car, Robbie Foley, who's now BMW factory pilot. They're good friends, and Robbie's got a lot of confidence that Patrick's really going to come good this season. He had a really solid run up in Canada. Done a nice job here on Turner Motorsports front home turf.
Good friends and both former competitors in MX5 Cup, and so Patrick Gallagher, a champion there, wicked fast and wicked smart, a degree in engineering, I believe, from Ohio State University, and one of these guys who's cerebral. He's a big, muscular guy too, so you don't want to mess with him on the racetrack. Really talented race car driver. Hannah?
Well, in watching these two BMWs battle, you guys had mentioned seeing the frustration, but the handling that those cars have, specifically here at Lime Rock, BMWs just naturally have a ton of understeer built into them, and that's something that both of those teams have battled with all weekend long, is they just simply have too much understeer. And talking specifically to Madison Snow, he goes, man, it's a great gentleman's driver car because it just provides that comfort, but when you come to a racetrack here like Lime Rock, where there's a ton of load going into the corners, you need to get away from that understeer, and unfortunately, that's just how these BMWs are built, and he said that right there is going to make it extremely difficult to set up an agile car with passing, and we're seeing it play out right here.
I think that's an interesting thing, Cal, when you look at the different makes and manufacturers, the wheelbases, the engine location, so on and so forth. We were talking about if the car doesn't work, it's frustrating. Understeer around this place is awful. Describe what that feels like.
Well, and Hannah alluded to it as a great gentleman driver's car. You got Pro-Am combinations, so if a driver does not have the experience, they're not comfortable when the rear end is moving around, kind of on entry and stuff like that. So it's got a slight understeer when the front kind of washes out on you. It's more predictable. You can control that with just a slight lift and get the car back on the line that you're asking it to achieve. So, but the problem is that here at Lime Rock, if you've got the understeer all day long through all of these right-hand turns, that left front is just going to ultimately get overheated and not give you any grip toward the middle part of this stint.
Gina Monk aboard her Acura NSX, the green and white number 66, a battle there. Alan Brynjolfsson just behind. Introduction kind of thrown into the deep end of IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Came from Michelin Pilot Challenge, very talented, sharing that 77 with Trent Hinman. But this is a completely different ballgame when you move up.
Yeah, they won the championship last year, made the move, a big move for Alan Brynjolfsson. He'd been looking forward to it by doing all of his steps along the ladder to achieve that kind of pedigree. He's done a really nice job. I haven't had the ultimate pace in the Porsche before this year, so brand new chassis, but nonetheless, had a nice podium run here last year, and Sheena Monk was on that podium as well with Kyle Marcelli aboard a Mustang and Michelin Pilot Challenge.
Just kind of shows you how difficult it is. It's like playing minor league ball. When you move up to the majors, the talent level just becomes deeper and deeper. And there is number 8, Rexy, the Porsche from AO Racing, a fan favorite. You walk through the paddock and everybody loves to see that car.
This has got everyone's attention. The livery designed by PJ Hyatt's son, I believe, so it's bright, and even when we went to Le Mans this year, it got a lot of the fans' attention there. It's been a great story this season.
Seth Trio behind the wheel with PJ Hyatt this weekend, and Hyatt right now having a go of it. There's a look at the 92 as you move forward. Alec Udell, another one of these guys who is highly educated, highly skilled behind the wheel of one of these Porsches. He and Adrian Andlauer at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca qualified on the pole and finished third, but you alluded to it a little while ago, and it's kind of surprising to me. I expected more out of all the Porsche teams this weekend. There was a little balance and performance adjustment. Had 44 pounds of weight, 20 kilos removed from the car. I thought it might come alive here this weekend. We've not seen that.
No, we haven't, but it could help them out on the long green flag run that we're anticipating here today. So that weight just kind of wears on that tire and that balance all day long as well. So that should certainly be a factor as we get deeper into this stint. But really puts in perspective what a great job PJ Hyatt is doing here today by basically keeping Udell in sight here. Udell, a lot more experience, really talented young man, super smart, had a couple of podium runs this year. So Kelly Moss Racing with Riley have really done a nice job this season in terms of getting this team on its infancy here in the WeatherTech Championship up to speed.
to your point, that is something that a lot of the Porsche teams mentioned to me, that their long-run pace, they feel like is maybe the strength of their program here this weekend. So with the track position challenges we've discussed already and how the strategy is ultimately going to play in and affect this race today, for these cars that are at the back, having cars that go a little quicker at the end of the run when maybe some others are starting to fade and struggle with their tires, that may be the advantage for the Porsche. Now, I think they would like to move up the field a little bit, or they will try to move up the field on this first stint to gain some track position on the racetrack, but watch the pit stop sequence. That may be where the Porsches are able to take advantage of it.
We talk about this long run pace. I don't know if you still have the NFL package. I don't know if Heather allowed you to keep that because it was kind of expensive.
I won't really watch it. There's nothing.
But we talk about the long run pace. It's like watching a football game where one team is very physical, but they can't be physical for the entire game, and the game changes in the second half.
It does, and there's going to be a lot of ebb and flow to this race, and these gaps are going to certainly concertina at various phases as the tire deck starts to kick in. And then you've obviously got in GTD a lot of the pros getting back in. We talked about Shandorf taking the qualifying run here yesterday, running in second behind our leader Mike Skeen. But I anticipate Shandorf getting back in, so I think Brendan and Reed will get him for the middle stint. We're looking at a 3-stint race, 2 stops, and Shandorf finishing out. So there's a lot of little quirks to these strategies here on this bull ring.
In football, the coaches are on the sideline. In motorsports and in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, coaches are the engineers and the strategists on the pit box. They're working away right now trying to figure out how to get their cars to the front and the checkered flag.
Okay, Dad, that was great, but on this next take, I'm gonna need more speed.
More speed.
More speed.
More speed.
Miles, we good on sound?
The best performance is high performance. Get offers on select vehicles at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
What happened to driving? When did it lose its soul? We believe driving should be more than just getting from A to B. It's time to breathe new life into the art form. One gear at a time, one shift at a time. This feeling isn't going anywhere. The world may have forgotten, but Cadillac hasn't. The Cadillac V-Series Blackwing.
To the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now.
Ooh, there's only 2 chairs left. You better hurry.
The power to get there in no time? That's what you'd expect from the ultimate electric driving machine.
Not today, brother.
You got it!
You snooze, you lose.
C'est la vie, as I always say. And you never said that before.
The BMW Electric Summer On Sales event is on now. Lease the 2023 BMW i4 eDrive 35 for $499 per month. Now for July 31st.
Welcome back, everyone, to the FCP Euro Northeast Grand Prix presented by Liqui Moly. Great aerial shots down the racetrack. Alan Brynjolfsson aboard that bright yellow number 77 Porsche, trying to get the move done on the 66. Thanks, WeatherTech, for your aerial coverage. It brings us great shots like that. And this battle has been raging for the last 10 laps or so, easily.
It's been fantastic. You saw Brynjolfsson really carve the corner there in Big Bend. That's the first couple of corners you negotiate on a lap around here at Line Rock Park. But Schiedema is really not just cracking at the moment. She's just really demonstrating great poise here.
shares that Acura NSX with Catherine Legg, and I think Catherine's experience, both in this car, because she's won in an Acura before, and her experience in the series is something where she is that mentor to Sheena Monk, and that pairing is doing really well.
Yeah, and I think not just from a performance standpoint in terms of trying to match what Catherine Legg can do on the racetrack, that's also off the racetrack in terms of the approach, being a total pro, and I think also strengthening the mentality. She's kind of showing the grit and determination that we're seeing in Catherine Legg over the years. Right now, they're trying, bring the offset a little bit wide there, nearly goes off in the right-hander onto the Paul Newman straightaway.
It's one of those things where traction control is a blessing, that's for sure, but it doesn't outdo physics, and Brynjolfsson just a little bit too much Porsche power and blazed some big, long Michelin black marks there at the edge of the left-hander. The 94, Jared Andretti. Typically, we've seen Jared in an LMP3 prototype, but that team already looking to the future and exploring their options in GTD aboard the Aston Martin right now. Great run for Jared Andretti, and they are learning every weekend, Dylan, about GTD.
They are, and it's great to have them back in the GTD field. Just their second start this year. First one was earlier this year at Laguna. Gabby Chavez is the co-driver, so he's awaiting his turn aboard this 94 car. So I know each of these weekends there's a lot to learn. You guys are kind of drinking through a fire hose in that sense, but how has this weekend gone with it being your second weekend here in the GTD field?
Yeah, certainly a lot smoother than our first one. We've done pretty much every minute we can get out of practice, qualifying. Race is going smooth. You know, we're just gathering as much data as we can. Jared's doing a good job on track. We've got, some of our sponsors like Gallant here, supporting us. So it's a great weekend to get some laps and, really take as much of this learning curve off as possible as we, head into the next couple rounds as well.
Well, and you certainly know the value of just consistency and kind of being in the car week in and week out. That's what the schedule looks like for you guys coming up between, I think, Road America and Indianapolis and then a couple other races at the end of the year. So how much are you looking forward to the learning curve kind of taking another step just with some consistent weekends back to back?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the name of the game for us at the moment. We have probably a collective less than 2 hours of running total in the lifespan of our car right now. So any amount of laps, any amount of track time we can get, we're learning, we're improving. And certainly we look forward to a couple test days coming up and then more race weekends to just really start getting the program moving forward.
Always great to have the Andretti name in the IMSA field, and Gabby Chavez, of course, the co-driver for the Andretti Autosport 94 and GTD as they continue to get some laps here at Lime Rock. Hannah.
And Ben Barnicoat standing by here, watching his co-driver here, Jack Hawksworth, piloting that Vassar Sullivan Lexus right now in GTD Pro. How much of this right now is just simply a waiting game, kind of seeing how the first quarter of this race plays out?
Massively, yeah, these races are so hard, especially the GTD Pro class, because our minimum drive time is 10 minutes, whereas for the GTD cars, with their minimum drive time for still being 45 minutes, that kind of pushes them into a pretty, not fixed strategy, but a much smaller window. With that minimum drive time being 10 minutes, it's very wide open. So at this point in the race, it's very much seeing who's going to pull the trigger first on the stop, or how it plays out. You kind of go really early or go really late, or something down the middle. It's just so open. Yeah, right now Jack's doing a great job, just kind of managing the Galaxy Aston, although Ross does look like it's very fast at the minute. Kind of just sliding nice in the middle there, and yeah, just waiting and seeing what happens. Sounds like someone's just made a stop actually, so all stations go.
This Lexus pit has been one of the ones that I've seen an absolute roster of pit strategies where when you get ready to get in the car, how much does that put you on edge of a driver, knowing that, everything simply is fluid here at Lime Rock?
Yeah, it's quite frustrating, not frustrating, but very on edge, nerve-wracking, because you have to be ready so much further ahead of time than what you would normally be. So, you sat on the pit stand, helmet on, ready to go, getting all hot and sweaty, because it's hot out today, and you got all your kit on, and that just makes it even worse. Yeah, it's a bit on edge, but at the end of the day, we're professional drivers, that's what we're here to do. So you've got to keep your cool as much as you can and get in and do the job at the end, which I'm looking forward to. Hopefully the guys call a good strategy and we'll just be able to bring home a good result.
And they've definitely seen victory lane here before at Lime Rock. And man, this Vassar Sullivan Lexus team has been on a roll. But Brian and Cal, you can kind of feel it down here. The strategy, everyone's kind of on edge watching each other down here on pit road.
Yeah, it's massive, Hannah, and we've seen it so far this year with the dynamic of the GTD Pro cars and the GTD cars being intermixed. They have similar pace, certainly when the pros get on board these GTD cars later in the race. So there's a strategy involved that Barnico and the Vassar Sullivan team are thinking about. Because GTD drive time is 45 minutes, you may see some of these GTD pro teams elect to pit before that. 35, 40 minutes into this race, in case there's a yellow, that would then give them track position over all of the GTD cars. They need to protect that as well, because you can see being running second, third, but you're kind of stymied because there's a big batch of GTD cars between you and the guy that you're trying to chase down. So lots to think about here, even though we don't have any prototype classes here this weekend, just GTD. Still, there's some strategy at play.
The engineers on the pit box right now looking at the end of the race. They're telling their drivers to just focus forward. They're already back timing, trying to figure out their strategy about how to get their drivers to the front. From here at Lime Rock Park, the MCP Northeast Grand Prix.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy. Let's get you up to speed. Watch down.
Your workspace is ready.
Okay. Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
Introducing the all-new 2024 Chevy Trax. Helps you stay connected, safe, and charged. The all-new Chevy Trax, starting at $21,495. The possibilities are endless.
Hey, it's me, your skin. Some cleansers get us clean, but take my moisture. CeraVe cleansers help me maintain my moisture balance with hyaluronic acid plus 3 essential ceramides to help restore my natural barrier. So we're CeraVe clean. CeraVe hydrating cleanser.
Maybelline, New York. New Flossy Surreal Extensions Mascara. Lash Reality Extended. Hybrid fibers. 36% more visible length. Surreal impact. Are your lashes real? New Flossy Surreal. Maybelline, New York.
Here's your parachute.
Certain it's okay? Are you 4imprint certain?
Certainty matters. So congratulate coworkers or say thank you with promotional products from 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain.
It's polite to thank someone when they do something nice for you, isn't it? Well, how about when they do something brave for you? Let's show veterans our gratitude. Ask your local Veterans Affairs office how you can help. The more you know.
Holding the cards at the table, and you decide when to play them, and they are already being played with pit stop strategy here at Lime Rock Park. It's the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Great battles already, and a lot of strategy being played, Hannah.
I saw that.
Yeah, we've already seen 2 of the GTD Pro cars come down pit road, including the 79 WeatherTech Mercedes. They came down, as well as the 14 Vassar Sullivan Lexus. 4 tires and VP Racing fuel for that Sealmaster car in comparison to the 2 that we saw the 79 WeatherTech Mercedes take. So we're already seeing this strategy play out. Different teams with different Michelin tire calls, Brian.
Interesting, I'm going to assume the 2 tires, Calvin, were left side tires. That's what gets pounded on around this racetrack. 23 now in pit lane.
Dominoes falling here. You got to really protect against those other teams electing to go early with their first stop. The Lexus team, there was 2 hours, 13 minutes to go on the clock to the checkered flag here this afternoon. When you split that, that's about a 77-minute run. That's about as much as you're going to see in terms of fuel. The good news is you think, well, that's going to compromise your pace, Brian, but when you're kind of saving fuel, you're saving tires at the same time. So it all goes into the dynamic of this racetrack. And also by pitting early, it's a short fill. You're going to stay on the lead lap critically at the same time.
As we said, the dominoes were falling. You said it, Calvin. Once the first one makes the decision, you really have to follow in order to protect.
Yeah, because if we go full course yellow, pit lane is closed, then you've got to wait, huh?
Yeah, now the Corvette Racing number 3 is in, and same thing. It looks like they're going to go ahead and just take left side as well. we may see no all-four Corvette racing they're going to have here. And these Corvettes actually fare pretty well here on these high-deck racetracks. And so I know they didn't have the qualifying effort they wanted to, but, well, actually, just going to be the 2 tires left side of the Corvette.
You can see there 21 seconds it was stationary. See the light on the side of the car, the illumination there. And that's where you really, it's half a fuel load, 40 seconds of the full fuel load. So that means that those tire changes have got to be super quick. You think, well, what's the real point in really, rehearsing that right? It's when you're doing a half fill in situations like this that the tire guys and girls really earn their money.
And you talk about that shorter fill earlier in the cycle, and you look behind the 3, I think you're going to see, there's the 23. He was able to stay in front of the 23 Aston Martin.
So a slightly quicker start. Some of that could have been Antonio Garcia. We are on board with him a little bit. He was saying a little bit of fuel. That means there's not as much fuel as to go on board. That means your refueling is a little bit quicker. Now you got Garcia out there on relatively cold times. They warm up heat quickly in these conditions. Better ain't move there down the down. Now that's where it could get really ugly in between similar performance cars with GTD Pro and GTD there with Gunnar go down the inside. With Jared Andretti. Seen a lot of skirmishes and big incidents there over the years.
Think about that earlier stop, though, gives Gunnar those fresh left side Michelins. Andretti hasn't been in yet. They can't stop and change drivers anyway. So those Michelins, kind of their life going away for Jared Andretti while fresh left sides for the 79.
Yeah, you become a little bit of a sitting duck, but even with that advantage that you have tire-wise, it's still not easy to make moves around here.
Great stop for both the number 14 and the 3. Just about 39.8 seconds for the 3, 39.4 for the 14. 27 a little bit further back with 43.5 seconds on their stop.
That was the change in position because of that 4 seconds longer on pit lane. That cost the number 23 the lead.
And this is where the strategy comes in, and that's the thing that oftentimes some people get confused on. It's not about just going out, manhandling the car and rustling it around the racetrack and seeing who's in front. It's the strategy that goes with it, the engineers on the box, and the players, the driver, being able to operate the way the engineers need them to.
Absolutely. Now we're looking at our overall leader right now, Patrick Pilet, who stayed out. He's the only one of the pro runners that has not hit pit lane yet today. Looking at his last lap time, that could be somewhat compromised by being in traffic. But he's 1 second slower on that lap than all of the other competitors in his class who have that fresher rubber on. So they got to really try and work this out as to whether they're really risking things by keeping him out here.
Yeah, and Calvin, I tuned into the team radio expecting to hear them declare him to come down to pit road maybe a lap or 2 later, but the team got on the radio and told Patrick Pilet, all right, now's the time. Run hard, run long. We're going to build as big of a gap as we possibly can between here and our pit cycle. So this now puts this Porsche Motorsports team on a completely different strategy, which we kind of expected based on the conversation we had earlier, but this will be one to watch and see how it plays out, and if these tires can really handle that long of a stint.
Well, I mean, and that's what's interesting for them. They really have nothing to lose, right? They were at the back at the beginning, so play a different strategy than everybody else. It seems to be what they're doing.
Yeah, they are certainly off strategy compared to everyone else. It's not like out of the ballpark in terms of that's more like what you typically do, but obviously with the length of this circuit, as we said, the other pro teams electing to go a little bit alternate with their strategies, but the 9 car not following suit. The problem with the team telling him, stretch that lead, he's trying to stretch the lead on other drivers and cars that have fresher rubber than him.
He's trying to stretch the lead, same fuel and same tires. That's very difficult to do, especially around a racetrack like this. 1.5 miles worth of asphalt that will challenge even the world's best. That's what it's doing right now. It's the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship from Connecticut.
To the Acura Summer of Performance event going on now.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
The vehicle is all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes AMG. The AMG EQS.
Michelin keeps innovating so the world can move in better ways. Michelin, motion for life.
The race to the NASCAR playoffs is on USA. The drama. The characters. Next up, Pocono. NASCAR. Tomorrow on USA.
Team Korthoff, the Mercedes AMG, Mike Skeen, the pole sitter, staying up front. Great run for this team. They've been strong all season long for Mike Skeen. His first pole in WeatherTech competition. I'd be proud of that.
Yeah, very much so. Steve McAleer had a pole last year when he was teaming with Mike Skeen. Skeen, unfortunately, for the championship last year. This team was pretty much in the hunt. Led a bundle of the races of the championship. Led the championship for a bundle of races, and then kind of petered out towards the end of last season. But hasn't had the strength and performance this year so far, but got two really great drivers with Michael Grenier sharing this car with Mike Skeen. Mike Skeen is one of the most underrated drivers in this paddock. You put him behind the wheel of a good car, he's going to get the job done.
Typically cool, calm, collected, doesn't get emotional behind the wheel when things go wrong. And that's exactly what you want in a sports car driver, especially what you want in a teammate. You want to know that he's not only fast, but he's going to hand you a car that's in one beat.
Yeah, and I think when you've got two drivers, you know, you need an air driver. Oh, big wreck! Zandretti involved, the 91 machine as well of Alan Metney. They've been battling it out side by side for a number of laps there. This is down in Big Bend. Metney's back underway. Let's see if the Aston Martin can get out of there as well. Otherwise, we're probably going to go caution. That's a big wreck.
Yeah, he's buried in the tires pretty well. Damage to the front of the car, the right side.
Let's see who hits pit lane. You can see that car there tries to take advantage and hit pit lane. Get a pit stop done before it's closed and we go full course yellow.
What's this going to do to our leader, the number 9?
Well, I think he needs to dive in, otherwise pit stop's going to be closed. And we're gone yellow.
Where is he? Now, on his way to the downhill, did not make it to pit in before we went full course yellow.
Yeah, you got to be, well, you need a little bit of luck in terms of what your track position is, in terms of where you relate to pit in, of course, to be able to make that call. There's probably about a 15-second moment there where a car could have dived in.
AMR safety team immediately on site. Good to see safety workers from here at the track. Door open, talking to Jared Andretti. This is not the first incident we've ever seen at Turn 1. Big Bend at Lime Rock Park. It's one of those deals, Calvin, where you get really tempted to get in there, but you run out of racetrack right in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, you do, and there's also, if you then have to sort of like tuck it to the inside, there's a bit of a curve there that kind of launches.
Big Bend at Lime Rock Park. It's one of those deals, Calvin, where you get really tempted to get in there, but you run out of racetrack right in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, you do, and there's also and hit pit lane, get a pit stop done before it's closed and we go full course yellow.
Car driver, especially especially what you want in a teammate. You want to know that he's not only fast, but he's going to hand you a car that's in one piece.
Yeah, and I think when you've got two drivers, you need an out driver. Oh, big wreck! Zandretti involved. The 91 machine as well with Alametti. They've been battling it out side by side for a number of laps there. This is down in bit.
Not only fast, but he's going to hand you a car that's in one piece.
Yeah, and I think when you've got two drivers.
In a sports car driver, especially what you want in a teammate, you want to know that he's not only fast, but he's going to hand you a car that's in one piece.
Yeah, and I think when you've got two drivers, you need an out driver. Oh.
Is on USA. The drama. The characters. Next up, Pocono. NASCAR. Tomorrow on USA.
Right now, Team Korthoff, the Mercedes AMG, Mike Skeen, the pole sitter, staying up front. Great run for this team. They've been strong all season long for Mike Skeen. His first pole in IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car competition. Got to be proud of that.
Yeah, very much so. Steve McAleer had a pole last year when he was teaming with Mike Skeen. Skeen, unfortunately, for the championship last year. This team was pretty much in the hunt.
Going to do to our leader, the number 9. But he's going to hand you a car that's in one piece.
Yeah, and I think when you've got two drivers, you need an out driver. Oh, big wreck! Zandretti in.
Behind the wheel when things go wrong, and that's exactly what you want in a sports car driver, especially what you want in a teammate. You want to know that he's not only fast. What you want in a sports car driver, especially what you want in a teammate. You want to know that he's not only fast, but he's going to hand you a car that's in one piece.
Yeah, and I think when you've got two drivers, you need an out driver. Oh.
What you want in a sports car driver, especially what you want in a teammate. You want to know that he's not only fast, but he's going to hand you a car. What you want in a sports car driver, especially what you want in a teammate. You want to know that he's not only fast, but he's going to hand you a car that's in one piece.
Yeah, and I think when you've got two drivers, you need an out driver. Oh, big wreck! Zandretti involved. The 91 machine as well of Alametti. They've been battling it out side by side for a number of laps there. This is down in Big Bend. Metney's back underway. Let's see if the Aston Martin can get out of there as well. Otherwise, we're probably going to go caution. That's a big wreck.
He's buried in the tires pretty well. Damage to the front of the car, the right side.
Let's see who hits pit lane. Can see that car there tries to take advantage and hit pit lane. Get a pit stop down before it's closed and we go full course yellow.
What's this going to do to our leader, the number 9?
Well, I think he needs to dive in. Otherwise, pit stop's going to be closed. And we're gone yellow.
Where is he? Now, on his way to the downhill, did not make it to pit in before we went full course yellow.
Yeah, you got to be, well, you need a little bit of luck in terms of what your track position is, in terms of where you relate to pit in, of course, to be able to make that call. There's probably about a 15-second moment there where a car could have dived in.
AMR safety team immediately on site. Good to see safety workers from here at the track. Door open, talking to Jared Andretti. This is not the first incident we've ever seen in Turn 1. Big Bend at Lime Rock Park. It's one of those deals, Calvin, where you get really tempted to get in there, but you run out of racetrack right in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, you do, and there's also a few there to sort of like tuck it to the inside. There's a bit of a curve there that kind of launches the car. A good little battle. Really impressed with Mendy. He's done a really solid job here. Had a little spin in practice here yesterday, but didn't hit anything.
Last year, also spent a lot of time in Porsche Cup, so things have gone wrong for him. Journey down in Turn 1, not at all uncommon to see on the bull ring. That is